What is happening, everybody? Thank you all for taking the time to tune in, and this one's going to be awesome. I've just been chatting a little bit to Darren before we went live, and obviously, like, just being able to just the fact that this man, as any of you guys know, follow his work, know that this man is flat out, like, he's not stopping tattooing, pinstriping, designing. Even I know for quite a while he's posting his coffee mornings where he's drawing on a napkin, doing some artwork. And like the fact that he's taken the time to sit and listen to me waffle on in my little corner of my front room and just hear some of his stories and what inspired him it's an honor. It's a true privilege to be able to do this and connect with people around the world. I mean, how crazy is this? Like, I'm sat in the UK and I'm about to sit and talk to Darren in America. I mean, this is cool as hell. So yeah, so in a minute, I'm going to introduce him in a minute. First of all, I just want to say again, massive thank you to Silverback Cuts for sponsoring the show. The dude makes insane waistcoats. Like, please go check his page out, www.silverbackcuts.com. And yeah, I mean, he'll literally tailor make you a leather waistcoat, however you want it, whatever custom liner you want. And also, again, to Kold Coffee for continuing to fuel my caffeine addiction. And if you like strong coffee, check out his brand. I mean, how cool is to have a blend of coffee called Cold Start? You know, it's certainly rockets the day into the right way, I think. So I'm going to stop waffling on, and I'm going to introduce the main man, Darren Mckeagart. This is cool. I cannot wait to hear his story. So yeah, so I'm going to introduce Darren now. How we doing, mate?
Cheers. What's up, brother?
Thanks again for taking the time to sit and listen to me waffle on to you.
Dude, it's my honor. I'm honored to be on here. I'm honored that out of everybody in the world today, you chose me. Thank you.
Nice. It's like I say, mate. It's just a, like, I think, like I said in the video I did earlier, was especially like social media has been so cool for people like us to express our art and as well as to discover our other artists. The other side to that is that because we have that opportunity to have that, it's probably easy to go under the radar because there are so many truly incredible artists. But like, before, like, obviously first I want to go back and ask kind of where it all started, but before I do that, is like the fact that you can scroll through Instagram like we all do and go, yeah, that's one of Darren's pieces, like straight away, like that. So I think in order to get to that bit, we have to go back and kind of, where did it all start for you?
Yeah, that didn't happen overnight. That happened, like, I mean, I've literally been creating my art. I'm 57, and as far back as age 5 in school, I was getting in trouble handing papers in because it had skulls, flames, motorbikes, hot rods up the margins of the paper. And the teachers were like, all the way through high school, the teachers were like, you can't hand your paper in like this. And I go, why? This, as much as I love history now, I go, this is all I want to do is be an artist. So you go through the whole generations of, I grew up with magazines. I grew up with, cartoons magazines, Easy Rider magazines, Playboy magazines. I still love magazines, but I've been playing the social media game for a long time, and it's a constant daily process, to get to where I'm at.
Yeah, I mean, you certainly don't. That's what I was saying earlier. Like, the fact that, like, anyone that draws or tattoos or anything, anyone that's just had a go, like, it's not a 5-minute thing to do any of it. I mean, I can imagine, obviously, you've got a lot more efficient at tattooing over the years, and the style of tattooing you do, it appears to be like a very traditional way of application. Obviously, you're not a traditional tattooist in your style because it's your style. But it's got a tradition. Like, you can really tell that, like, you have definitely studied the fundamental points of true, honest, value for money tattooing. Like, it's not going to drop. Like, you can just see that. I mean, I'm guessing that your tone palette is possibly a black, a half black, and maybe a lighter black. Like, I can't even imagine that your shading palette is overly complicated. Do you know what I mean?
It's not. There's maybe I have two solid black ink cups, and then I have three variations: 50%, 25% ink, and then like 10% ink. The rest is water. But
Yeah.
that's for black and gray. What you see of Mckeagart tattooing and Mckeagart style of tattooing has been a blender of so many influences from 1990 to today. Well, not even today. I'm still influenced by people, but I'm set in my ways of Mckeagart style where, like you said a little bit ago, if you see a t-shirt design or a tattoo design, you can tell that it's a Mckeagart style, Mckeagart, Darren piece. Like someone was in the studio the other day and they had just a little bit of my skull above their shirt collar, and they say people all the time just see that and they know it's one of my pieces. So what I'm getting at
so
is like,
cool.
yeah, in the 90s and early 2000s, all I did was tattoo conventions, standing over people and my friends like Brian Everett and Jack Rudy, and watching them draw, and Cap Zoomski, and just watching all these people draw. And I wasn't, and I still consider myself a nobody, but I'm making a good living at it and supporting those that care about me and I care about them. But my point is like, I was never in the tattoo magazines in the 90s or in the early 2000s. And then fast forward to like 2007 on, I've been fortunate enough to be in a lot of the magazines and on social media. And that's in the last 20 years is when things have really blown up for me. So I've been tattooing for 35 years. So 15 years before that.
Wow.
And even today, just is still a grind,
Well, I
I've
mean,
been
that's
illustrating.
incredible.
Yeah. I've been illustrating since I was a kid, 5 years old. And about 20 years ago, my mom gave me drawings of when I was like 12 years old. And it was tattoo flash and black and white art with stippling. So
That's so
I
cool.
knew the minute she handed that to me that I was right where I was supposed to be.
Yeah, and it's like obviously like I don't deem myself like a. I mean, my art's presentable. Like that's what I say to people. It's like I say to about my tattooing. Like my work's presentable. I have loads to learn. But I just enjoy tattooing like for the fun of it, really. Like I'm fortunate that I have a full-time job, as we spoke about earlier. Like I don't have to rely on it, and I can imagine because like it appears to be like every single day. Like I remember for quite a while you'd post a picture where you've got your cup of coffee on the side and you've got like a back of an envelope or a napkin, like, and it seemed like it was a daily thing for you. And I'm sure you named it in a certain way, coffee, and you had a title for it like on a daily
Morning
basis.
jam and
And
coffee. Yeah, yeah.
that's it,
Yeah.
and the discipline involved in that, like, because how do you do that and not lose the fun of it? Like,
So you fucking bail on your regular job that's a guaranteed paycheck. And you understand that now on a daily basis, I have to get up and grind and make money. So around 1990, so in 1990, I had at that in 1990, I was tattooing underground for 2 years and still had a full-time job as a graphic artist. I finally had enough and knew that my tattooing was taking off. I went in and told my art director boss, I said, I'm quitting today. I had my 82 FLH in the parking lot. And he goes, what are you going to do? And I said, I'm starting my own business. And he goes, you'll never make it. And I said, great, thanks. Fuck off.
yeah, what watch me?
Yeah. And so when you give up a guaranteed paycheck, you don't know where your next paycheck's going to come from. So every day is a hustle. Now, that being said, I love what I do. I really, really love what I do. It's what I'm supposed to do. It's what I was born to do, was to create art, whether it's painting, tattooing, pinstriping, or illustrating. So it's not, I don't have the mentality of when I get up, oh man, I have to draw or paint. It's like, what can I create today that
Wow.
has been in my head for a while. Like, you know, like the recent paintings I just finished, the one over there, it's in the background there.
With the coffee
The oil
cups
can.
type. The oil. Yeah, they're like
The oil cans. And then
yeah.
over in the other corner, I'll get over here, the surfboard. Those were ideas I've had in my head forever. And, you know, it took me a while to get them out of my system. So if I wake up at 2 a.m. or wake up at 3 a.m. or 4 a.m, my brain is off to the races. Like, what do I have to do today? So my daily routine at this point is, okay, have coffee in the morning, create some art that the world hasn't seen. And what do I have to do if I don't have a tattoo appointment, what do I have to do to keep our online store going, make sure inventory is up and going, which has been all of today's stuff. And, well, in the same time, planning my next move for tomorrow, the day after, 2 weeks from now, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it's so like, how long? So how long does the average piece? I mean, obviously, I know that different pieces are different sizes and that, but I mean, I mean, first of all, do you sleep?
I do sleep. I actually do sleep. There for a while, I wasn't sleeping a lot, but I actually get a good night. I get a good 6 hours of sleep, you know?
Wow.
I haven't drank alcohol in 10 years. I haven't and so, and by that, I mean, like, and I party, but it's a different level now. Like this last weekend, went to my best friend Paul's daughter's wedding. Paul owns Bare Knuckle Choppers, Bare Knuckle Performance.
I've
We
interviewed
partied.
Paul.
Yeah, by partying, I mean, I had coffee, I had espresso, I ate food, and we fucking danced. You know, we had
Yeah,
fun.
man.
So I don't party like I used to. And when I used to party, I didn't dedicate as much time to what I do now.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't drink either. And it's like you say, like you don't need to. And also like by not drinking, you find yourself being able to put yourself in different places with different people, you know?
Yeah.
You seem
Yeah,
to,
for sure. I mean, I loved partying, but we fucked shit up. We caused trouble. And I went to jail. And sometimes I got hurt and sometimes other people got hurt. And it was just no good, you know? And
no.
so I met Missy, my wife, in 2014. And that's a profile painting I did behind me there.
Oh, that's cool.
I said to her, I said, "Hey, babe, put this helmet on real quick." And then I just took it from there. But anyway, she saved my life. Like about 3 months in, we decided to quit drinking, and my art and life in general and who I am as a person just blossomed from that.
That's it, isn't it? It's like once you're able to, I mean, obviously some people, you know, they hide behind drink or, you know, they're dealing with some stuff and it never helps. You know, it's always going
Yeah.
to be
I
worse
mean,
the
it
next
helped for
day.
a really good fucking time and tearing shit up and laughs, but like it wasn't what I was truly supposed to be or do, you know, and finding the right person in life to makes you feel good, you know, and supports what you do on any level changes the dynamics of everything.
Yeah, because like, you know, obviously then all of a sudden, like you've got a purpose. It's weird. It's like, you
Yeah.
know, I've been with my missus 15 years in January and it just like all of a sudden you've got something to kind of focus on and like,
Yeah.
you know, you push yourself for that reason.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Like my first trip to England, I tattooed, I think it was up in Birmingham, and I'd never been there before. And I flew over by myself. Um, and I was sitting at the bar of the hotel, pounding some amazing English beer. And these 3 or 4 dudes came over. They were from Stoke-on-Trent. And they came over and like, "You by yourself?" I go, "Yeah." And they're like, "You want to party?" I'm like, "Yeah." We fucked shit up so bad. Like we were doing shit like I just can't believe I'm doing this shit. And the next day I tattooed all weekend and I tattooed a couple of them and they were like, "How do you fucking do this? Like we were up all night partying and here you are tattooing." I go, "I've just been doing it a while." And so now I'm able to after a long day, I'm able to get some rest, a good night's sleep, you know?
That's crazy. And so, I mean, I'm interested to kind of know, like, with your style, like, where did you all of a sudden? Because I mean, I used to draw flames all the time. I first drew flames when I saw my dad do some flames on a tank, and similar to yourself, I would sit in class. I wouldn't do any of my work, and I would just sit drawing flames.
Yeah.
And I ended up becoming presentable at doing flames. You know, I can
Yeah.
lay down some flames on. You know, I mean, I'm not the greatest at it, but they're good. They're presentable. So, like, for you, where did all of a sudden did you think, like, because obviously, like, first thing you see a set of wings and a wheel, like, it's pretty much, it's guaranteed, it's more or less Darren's work straight away. And like the skeleton on the choppers, like, it's that's what I mean. It's so incredible that you can literally, because unfortunately people do only have an attention span of 3 seconds on Instagram, but as you even if you just flicked past, like, you know straight away that's Darren's work. You know, like,
Yeah.
where did all of a sudden you think, this is my, like, I've got this is my style?
That's probably not too long ago, maybe 15 years ago, tops. Um, I remember Easy Rider magazines. I fell in love with Dave Perowitz's flame paint jobs. You know, Dave's one of the greatest painters, and he's actually a really good friend. And a few years back, he asked me if I wanted to trade skate decks. So he painted that one for me.
Oh,
And then
wow.
I painted the deck for him. So I've always been in love with flames, hot rod flames, any type of flames. But I've never been really a person. I've always been an illustrator. Whatever, whatever I'm asked to draw, I imagine it up on this pedestal, and I get down below it and I look up at it, and I give
Right.
it,
Okay.
I tweak it out, I bend it up, whether it's a bike, a car, a truck, a bottle of ink, a aerosol can, anything. I just want to distort it differently because that's how I look at the world, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense, because you say you have a very car, like, I mean,
I've just had
obviously,
an
yeah,
animated look.
yeah,
And I knew early on I wanted to be in animation. And I don't know about the UK or anything, but back when I was growing up in the States, there was a television guide called TV Guide, a little paperback book. And in that was an ad from one of the art programs in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And if you drew this character and send it in, if they thought you were good enough, they would send a rep. Well, my mom, unknowingly, my mom submitted this. I was 12 years old, maybe. And they sent a rep down. And before I even graduated high school, I was enrolled in this art institute. They would send me assignments and I would return them. And I had a diploma from an art institute before I even graduated high school. And it was just illustrative work. Whatever I look at, I want to illustrate it in a little bit of a cartoon character, because that's how I kind of look at everything, you know, like I just don't look at it like this evil Knievel machine. If I was to draw that, I would bend the lines and tweak the lines so it's got movement to it and shape
yeah,
and character, you know?
yeah. And do you find that, like, was it life experiences that kind of made you look at art in a certain way? Because, you know, like, I've noticed that, you know, seeing like podcasts with some of the well-respected tattooists and or any form of artist, like, you kind of dig it when you get the opportunity to hear about them digging into their background, like, things start making sense. You know, like, okay, you know, hardship, sorrow, environment you grew up in, like, you know, kind of a product of your environment type of thing, you know?
Yeah. All of that is, all of that should go into the blunt. All of your life experiences, things that happen to you, good or bad, go into this lifelong blender. And sometimes we pop out, sometimes we don't. But I mean, everything has an impact on where you go tomorrow, you know, what you do. And I've been fortunate enough to make it to this age. Uh, Surprisingly, I mean, I used to get on my motorbike uncomprehend, unable to comprehend what was going on, break the speed limit laws, and just out of control, and somehow survived it. I'm thankful to be here and thankful for this opportunity. So I think just everything in life, my parents divorced when I was 9. I submerged myself in drawing even more, even though I went through a divorce in 2006, even submersed myself more in my art and more in travel. Like, I'm like, that's it. I'm going to travel the world now, and I'm going to do even more art. And now I'm so comfortable in terms of I am with the right person in my life, and all of our kids are grown, and it's just like, now I'm going to even give this even more attention, especially with social media.
And that's it, obviously, like, without kind of like mentioning about the age type of thing, but it's to say at the age you are, to still like be massively respected, not just in a tattoo world, like you said, like you're following on social media, the effort that you put into your social media to still stay relevant enough in such a humble way, where you're not just chasing this, hi, I'm Darren, it's me, because like you said, like, to you still feel that you're a nobody, which obviously is completely and utterly not the case. I don't so lucky.
Respected I am.
You what? Sorry.
I don't know how massively respected I am. I don't know about that.
Mate, I think it's very obvious to say how respected you are, especially for that. Obviously, I don't know you personally, but for your style of art, 100%. It's and I think in today's day and age, just the fact that, like we said earlier, like, we are so spoiled with a world of incredible artists, but to say that, to become recognized for your style, it's harder now, I think, than it's ever been.
Yeah, it's crazy, because when I was growing up, and I was just influenced by magazines, where now I can't even imagine being a young artist, say early 20s, trying to develop a style for themselves, because with social media, because it's okay to be influenced by other people, other artists. It's okay to be influenced, but try to take a little bit from each artist, put it in your blender, and create your own style. And I tell that on a weekly basis in emails. I get emails all the time from around the world saying, hey, I created this off of your art. Now, it can either be their attempt at creating something I created, or they blatantly just printed it off and glued it to a fucking skate deck.
Right.
That spectrum determines my response.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, okay, this is great. You're onto a possibility of your own style, or don't fucking copy my stuff,
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, I don't know if you've ever heard the saying, but I was told one day that a good artist creates, a great artist steals inspiration.
Yeah,
meaning that they, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, how the exactly the saying was put, but the point being that a great
artist just steals it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I said, I took a massive piece of inspiration from your artwork, especially at one point when you were heavily doing like the heavy dot work, like with the Sharpie pens.
Yeah,
I did like an illustration of, well, I attempted to do something of, I did like a skull wearing a curved up baseball cap, and I did like the animated style gas petrol filling tank with the nozzle coming out of it, and then up on the hill I did like a real animated style like graveyard, and then I did like the sign, it's like live life fast, live life, die fast, and but again, like 100% massively influenced by your style, but I can never replicate your style, because I could just never draw. Like, I sit and look at the stuff, and I'm at your stuff, and I'm like, how is he seeing? Like, I get it. Like, it makes sense. Like, you kind of feel and see what you're going to do. But like, I'm there like, how is he literally able to get like the contour of a skull coming out, a skeleton coming out on a chopper? Like, I can see how you've done it, but I just can't do it. You know what I mean? And
Yeah, I've literally, perspective came to me a long, long time ago. And one thing about social media is I get people that obviously don't want to travel very far. They can't travel to 99% of my clients fly or drive in from out of state, which is great. But there are some people that are just aren't, they can't do it, you know? So they want their tattoo artist to, you know, create a tattoo for them that's based off of my art. And so I say, you know, great, don't copy it. Just have your artist reinterpret it, but credit me in the original inspiration from where you got your idea. Because
yeah,
if I say no to them, they're going to do it anyway.
yeah,
But if I say, you know, yeah, that's fine. Thank you for asking, but please tag me. Then, you know, they're putting it out there that we did this, but we got it off of Mckeagart's, you know, style. So, you know, we all just want to, you know, do our thing and create art and, you know, just be the best person we can be.
yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing. It's like, you know, like, and I mean, for example, I was talking to Lloyd, who I interviewed recently. He's a bike builder up in North Yorkshire, and he's part of the last week of July, who obviously have like a massive YouTube following, just shy of
Yeah.
400,000 subscribers. And obviously, I was very lucky to interview him in his garage and got to obviously speak a lot to him about bikes and last week of July and things like that. But like, there's some random guy on Facebook that's got a massive Facebook page who's literally downloading their reels, using them and not even tagging them in it. And it's like,
Yeah.
as somebody, so like somebody like myself, that I'm not offering a service out there to the world of social media. Like I mean, I'm offering the ability to connect with people like you, but I'm not selling a physical product. So for me, I have to obviously try to create content, try to get more followers, just so people can discover what I'm doing more, and I have the ability to connect with more people like yourself. But to see somebody that's full on ripping off someone else's content and is doing like million times better than somebody like me that's trying to create original content, is like, just shows how narrow-minded some people can be, you know?
Yeah, that happens a lot. I see it a lot, and I try my best to, if I see a post about a bike and they didn't tag the bike owner or the builder or the painter, I chime in and I'm like, yo, so and so built this bike or so and so painted this bike.
Yeah.
If there's a piece of art, they reshare. And everybody's pretty cool. I'm checking them for sure, but you have to, it's very important. That's just lame. A lot of people are thriving off of that. They just steal people's videos and put them up, and that's lame.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, it's like, when I spoke to, for example, one of the videos that Lloyd was in, like, it had over 3 million views. And I said to him, I said, do you know it's on there? He says, oh, I know it's there. He said, but the guy's banned me. He's
Yeah,
blocked me from the account. And I'm like,
yeah,
that's crazy. Because obviously, for example, yeah, he's building bikes full time, but, you know, that possibility of an income that will create, that's certainly going to help anybody, you know, or it's going to help the cause at least. And it's like,
yeah.
nobody else should at least say credit to last week of July, or credit to whoever. Like, it doesn't take a lot to do that, you know?
Yeah, that guy, whoever's just copying that content and blocking the people he took it from, is a fucking coward. You know,
Yeah.
just it's not right. If you're gonna use somebody's content, you should share in the wealth and growth of you promoting it. You know, social media is all about cross promoting and, you know, everybody lifting each other up. You know.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And that's like what I do. So I sit there and go, right, okay, I can't necessarily go out and take some pictures in my shed of cutting my bike up because I haven't been able to do it for a while or something like that. So the least
Right.
I can do is just share people's content on the story. It
Yeah.
takes 2 seconds, you know. And like, I mean, I said before on some of the podcasts, like, I've had a bad day. I've come up on social media and someone's shared a picture wearing one of my t-shirts, and it like instantly puts my brain in a better place, you know.
Yeah.
And that's the way I look at it, is if it can help somebody, whether it be they get a future customer or it makes them feel better, it's the least I can do, you know.
Yeah. It's just the right thing to do. Just like, that's fucking bullshit, dude. For some fucking dude, you know, and then to block that person, that's just lame.
No, no, that's it.
And
And
catch up with them eventually.
yeah, no, that's it. I think like definitely there's like karma, is it? Law of attraction. You get back what you put out, and
Karma.
you know, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. So with regards to, so obviously I've seen quite a few posters. You've got some really cool bikes in the background. Like where did, so obviously we kind of dived into where the world of art came for you. When did bikes become a thing?
I've been around motorbikes my whole life. My dad rode stock Harleys. My mom's husband rode choppers ish, My dad was just, a Harley enthusiast, Triumph enthusiast. My mom's husband, before they met, was in clubs back in the 70s, So my dad has no tattoos. My mom's husband has tattoos. So it's kind of when I was raised and stuff, I was right in the middle of all that, and I knew I was in the Army for 6 years where I got my first tattoo and stuff. And I knew that's what I wanted to do. But motorbikes in general, I mean, I've been on them and around them since I was, since I was born. When I could sit upright, my dad would put me on the tanks of his Panhead, which was a stock 65. And then mom
Wow.
would get on the back of the buddy seat and away we went. No helmet, just fucking, freestyle. And that's what I was around, and I loved it. My first Harleys were in the late 80s, so
I
yeah.
mean, and literally just listening to that there, like completely, like I feel that's just summed up what the world sees of you is authenticity of originality, meaning like original Harleys and like the discipline from the military, and then the custom culture side from your stepdad, like that really kind of just, and obviously being around the MC culture, which you can kind of see that old rock and roll rebelness to your artwork. And you know what I mean, like it's crazy, like your artwork's telling a story of who you are, and without people will only know that once they get to hear you tell a bit about you, but that's like you can see it. Like to me it's like bang, it just makes sense.
Yeah, thank you. I've been different my whole life. I've not, I've just been that little loner in the crowd. There's always, even going through school and stuff, you've got the athletes and the kids in drama class or whatever, or the mathematicians or whatever. I didn't even want to. I'm glad I went to school. It worked out great, but all I wanted to do was create art from the get go. And once I was able to make the decision, like, okay, my art teacher in high school, my parents supported. They're like, you're a great artist. This is great, but you got to get a real job. My art teacher in high school was really the only person that was like, you can create a living doing this. And he still today follows my art and comments on it. But yeah, I just always looked at life a little bit different. Just from a different perspective.
No, that's it. And like you say, having the discipline to carry it out every day, like because I can imagine at the beginning, like you say, once you left your job, it was, I've got to make this work, and
Yeah.
like believing in yourself, staying disciplined, staying true to it, not selling out, not changing your style to suit other people. And and that's one thing that a modern day artist, because unfortunately the average person in their 20s just they care more about what other people care than staying
Yeah.
true to who they are.
Yeah. And I think we all I think as humans, we all kind of go through that. Like, we care about what people think, but you got to get to the point where it doesn't matter. Like, what's important to me is what my wife thinks of me and my
Yeah,
kids. And outside of that, I don't give a fuck.
yeah, no,
And
exactly the
uh,
same.
yeah. And I got my work ethic from my dad. He spent 45 years doing something. I think he liked what he did. He just didn't like who he did it for. And growing up, this constant work, cutting firewood, working on the farm, the chores, and then with the military, the work ethic also. But yes, when you give up that guaranteed paycheck, as I was mentioning earlier, you're all of a sudden in this little vortex of like, okay, I have to get up today and hustle. I have
Yeah.
ideas. And social media is a beautiful thing. It's a double-edged sword. My page,
100%.
I don't have room for politics or religion. Occasionally you'll see a few things about what I believe in and stuff like that in the motorbike world or whatever. But like, it's just all about my art. And occasionally I'll put up a picture of Missy and I showing the world how much I care about her, whether it's an anniversary or her birthday or whatever. We're somewhere in the world. But after that, it's just all art, because I want to push my art all over the world. I want people to go into my web store and buy art. I want to be able to go to any corner of the globe and tattoo while I'm there visiting, and
Yeah.
social media allows that to happen.
Yeah, and I think, like, and obviously I've said it a few times, but I definitely think you've definitely established yourself for your style. Like, I mean, there will be artists that will be able to somewhat replicate, but
Sure.
because like you can tell straight away that even like you can tell it's all sharp. You can tell it's not stenciled. Do you know what I mean? Like you can just see that there's no way at all that you can get a skeleton riding a chopper onto the edge of the arm that naturally sits right if it wasn't drawn on. Do you know what I mean? Like
I love drawing on. Occasionally I have to use a stencil for something if somebody wants a portrait of their loved one or whatever. But I prefer to draw everything as much as I can because it fits the body so much better. And just by drawing it on, it just fits better. It allows me to create the art with that body shape, that area of the body. And so it just tunes you into what's about to happen with tattooing way better too,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so like obviously you've had obviously the luxury of doing probably hundreds of back pieces. What is so for example, if you was to look at a complete back, how many sessions you obviously I know it depends on the level of detail and what's involved in the design, but are you like a outline all in one day type of guy and go back in, finish it off, or how do you generally approach a back piece?
Yeah, so I've created somewhat of a difficult situation for myself because 99% of my clients fly in from out of state. And I've developed this process where I can do a sleeve, an arm sleeve in 3 days, or a leg sleeve in 4 days, or a back tattoo in 4 days, which is great because if they can handle it, I've developed a process that is the least invasive to their body. Any more than 3 or 4 days, and we need to be done, even if we don't finish, because their body starts to shut down a little bit. That being said, I'm getting to the age where spending 12 hours a day with a client for 2 fucking days, let alone 3 or 4, is absolutely too much. And so I'll probably get to a point here in the next few years where they're going to fly in for an outline one day, because with that outline, when someone shows up at my door, at my studio, we have a good hour of consultation, which is on the clock. And then I develop in my head this design, this collage, this story of everything they want. And then I spend a good hour or two drawing it. And then we're going to knock the outline out. That's all in one day. So that first day is always going to be a long day.
So you will do all of, and so that's literally outline, as in drawing onto the skin and then outlining it in one day.
Yeah.
Wow. That's insane.
Yeah. It is no secret that I work fast when I tattoo, but yeah, that's a solid day, so it'll probably get to a point where they're going to, regardless of where they're at in the world, they're going to have to come back, after the outline.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and obviously, and that kind of comes back to, like I said earlier, like you can tell straight away that you have definitely learned the fundamental solids, the key solids of tattooing, which is solid, honest, bold lines. Like they're going to stay in forever. And you can just see that you've like, and that's like, and that's not me chatting shit on the tattoo world, because there are millions of tattooists way better than me. But I think that unfortunately we're in a world where there's so much fake shit going around, as in photoshopped, as in soft shading, and like, oh, that looks so cool. And it's like, yeah, but that's really not going to look like that in 2 years' time.
Yeah, yeah. I used to publish a tattoo magazine in the 90s called Midwest Tattoo News that focused on tattoo art in the Midwest of the US. And so many people would send in their photos and they would be like, if you think this is good enough to put in your magazine, let me know. And I said, if this is the work you do, this is what's getting published. It's not for me to decide if it's good or not. If somebody wants that style of work or that quality of work, they're going to come through your doorway. If they don't, they won't. So, you know, we all know that there's people out there that do $20 tattoos, and there's clients out there that that's all they want to pay for. And, you know, there's people that want to pay my hourly rate because they want my style of art and my quality of line work and shading and color work, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm, again, just a nobody. There's people way better than me. But when people ask me, what style of tattooing, what style of art do you do? I go, it's Mckeagart. Like,
yeah, that's
you
so cool.
If you want Mckeagart tattoos or Mckeagart to hang on your wall, you come to me.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And like, people got, you know, people say, well, why is it X amount of money? You know, well you're paying for the years of knowledge that I built up. Like, you know, obviously, like as in referring to you, you know, like this hasn't, like you said earlier, it hasn't just all of a sudden dropped on your lap and bang, you can do this, you know, like, you know, why wouldn't you pay for that?
Yeah, exactly. I remember the days, and let's admit it, what hasn't gone up in price? Everything, cost of living. Like, I used to do $50 tattoos, you know, and then I had a longtime client the other day email me about a tattoo, and I fired off all of my stuff, my hourly rate, my minimum, and they just crickets, nothing, didn't even respond. And I'm just like, well, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Like, it fucking, you know, everything costs money.
It's crazy because I've actually recently had a similar thing. I had somebody reach out to me because obviously when we're first learning, I mean, you probably had the same, like everyone's your best friend. Once they know you've got a tattoo machine, oh, you're right, mate. How are you doing? I'm like, I don't know, who even are you? You know, type of thing. And all of a sudden, I haven't spoke to you in a while. Are you still tattooing? And I'm like, yeah, I'm still tattooing. And they're like, oh, how much for this? And I give them a price that's realistic. That's a realistic price on the market. And they're like, oh, you know, type of thing. And I'm like, mate, I'm really sorry, but like, because obviously for me, like I'm working for, you know, just come off of doing 48 hours of my 4 12-hour shifts. And then obviously, as well as if I get the chance, I tattoo. And like, for me, the social media side of things is it's almost like a full-time job anyway. And I'm trying to build a platform. And this eventually is slowly becoming my business. You know, I'm hoping to eventually turn this into able to support my family. But I said to this guy, like, I can't afford just to give you my time. Like, I've got a family, my kids, and I'm trying to juggle everything. I said, it's not that I don't want to tattoo you, it's just that I can't afford just to give you my time.
Yeah, and you have to realize the old adage, the old saying, if I have to explain, you're not going to get it.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I saw
a tattooist. He put it really, really well. He said, because obviously it's always some people feel uncomfortable when they put their price out. Like, I never like asking for money off people, but like this tattooist, he said it's simple. He said, when you're at a low price, you attract people that are willing to waste your time. He said, as your price increases, you filter out the bullshit from people. He said, and then all of a sudden you might be, let's say 5,000 for a whatever, like let's say £500 for a full day. But then people that were wasting your time at £100, you only need one guy to eliminate the 5 time wasters, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. So I made that big jump with my original art. I used to sell my original art for X amount of dollars. And I finally I wanted to get into a bracket where, you know, if I sold one original painting in that higher bracket, you know, because I put a lot of time into my paintings. And
100%. You can see that.
Yeah. And so now and it's not even a secret that my tattoo art is cheap or expensive. my tattoo art's expensive, my paintings are expensive. And so, you know, for example, I'll be, you know, I'm getting ready to do the show in Italy again, the end of January. And like, this
Yeah.
is one of my original helmets. This is an original helmet. And I'll get a person, they'll be like, why is that so much? And I go, what are you basing this off of? Tell me what you're basing this price off of.
Yeah.
And they go, well, that helmet over there. I go, this is the only helmet in the world that looks like this.
Yeah.
That should be $10,000 if that's the case.
Yeah.
But I'm offering it to you for $2,500.
Yeah.
So where are we at? You know, if you want to buy this sticker, you know, it's this much. If you want to buy this painting here, it's X amount of dollars. It's the only painting in the world that looks like that.
No, 100%. And it's like, you know, I say to people, like, at the end of the day, like, you've got a full-time job just balancing life, because at the end of the day, like, your wife, your kids, like, they're not seeing you more than likely when you're creating this. So it's like, them people that are prepared to make the statement, and this is what I've noticed now recently, especially in the last fucking 10 years, it's like, people just say shit and don't think that the words coming out of their mouth actually has a consequence. Like, that guy is happy to say to you, why is that much? And you got, you know, well, hang on a minute, well, are you losing time sat in a studio and not spending time with your wife and kids, or like spending time with your friends? Like, you know, at what point do you think it's acceptable to question the price I've put on that art?
Yeah. So the fun one is when, like the white helmet I just showed you, I had a guy emailed me, and the guy just brags about money falling out of his ass. And he goes, how much do you want for that helmet? And I told him, $2,500. And he goes, that's a fair price. Your art's amazing. Okay, great. I circled back around a couple weeks later. I go, hey, you still want it? He goes, yeah, I'll give you this much for it. And I go, what gives you the permission? What gives you the validation to devalue my art? Where did you get the permit to devalue my art? Like, I'm the only one that can offer this at a cheaper price. But now, because you did that, he goes, okay, I'll buy it for that. And I go, no, you'll never own this helmet.
Oh, even better.
Yeah, you'll never, there's no amount of money you can offer me. You'll never own it.
Yeah. I know, that's incredible, because, like, you know, like, I'm trying to teach my kids, like, the thing is I don't know what it's like in America, but like here in the UK, like, everyone's being told that they have a right to an opinion, and absolutely they do, but they're also being told that their opinion matters. And it's like, no, your opinion matters to you doesn't mean it has to matter to anybody else. Do you know what I mean? It's like, stop, you know.
Yeah, and you have to decide, is it worth even? Yeah, you do have a right to opinion, but you have to decide, do you really have the right to say the opinion to the person it's about, because they didn't ask your opinion?
No, exactly. And the same, just like you, like, the only person that can bring me down, like, I say to people, like, because obviously, you know, I started my social media journey, and basically one day I woke up and realized I had to get out of my way. Like, I say to people, like, some people ask me, oh, when did you get into bikes? I'm like, no. Like, I grew up in this world. Like, all I've done is woke up one day and went, I've got to document it. Like, I've got to so me cutting up shit in my shed, like, none of my videos are how-to videos. My motto is, watch me attempt not to fuck up. That's it. Like, it's literally it. Like, nobody is ever clicking on any of my videos to learn how to weld, because I'm learning how to weld. But my idea is that if I can inspire somebody else to have a go, to want to pick up a fucking anything, like even just buying a really cheap 125 and going on eBay and buying Chinese indicators. And like, I understand that it's difficult in the respect of people that are actually trying to make a living off custom parts, but at the end of the day, it's got to start somewhere. Like, if that person's prepared to buy a really cheap 125cc bike and spend only £50 on parts, at least they started the journey. And for example, if they're willing to do that, and instead of picking up drink and alcohol and ruining their life, like, have you not served the purpose there, just inspiring somebody? You know,
if you can inspire one person in a day, then you've done something really amazing. And I do some paint classes here and there around the country, around the world. And I try to just let people know, like, and there are people in the paint class that all they do is create art. Sometimes they have a regular job and create art. Um, I encourage everybody, even yourself, just go be self-employed, because when you do that, you give on a daily basis you have to give 1,000%. If you only give 500%, that's what you'll get out of the day. If you give 1,000%, you'll get that out of a day. If you only want to give 1%, that's what you'll get out of the day. You know, there's days we're sick or we're tired or we don't feel good. You have to take that into account. But when you're self-employed, it's all on you. It's all up to you. And especially if you have family that relies on you. And so there's no room for, I don't feel like it today. I might not feel like coming in and tattooing, but I'm definitely going to go paint or go draw, you know?
Yeah.
So.
No, 100%. You know, this is like, for me, like, I realized that I don't have an education to give my kids, you know, to inspire them to become students of something and get a degree. And I don't have like buckets of cash to chuck at them. But what I have is this annoying perseverance to do this, what I'm doing now, you know.
You have a role
It's
model
like,
too. Yeah.
do you know what I mean? And I'll tell my kids, I'm like, look, you know, like I've only recently just upgraded my equipment. I went from I did 50 episodes at less than £100 setup. And I only tell this to people. I'm not saying like look for sympathy, and I tell people because they're like, look, I did it on less than this much. Like, just start, just do it. Like, just do it. Do you know what I mean?
I do.
And
You have to, and you can be a good role model. That's what they can take from that. Like I said a little bit ago, you got my dad's work ethic, you know, and I learned to be a better person in the military, but I also learned, I tell myself each day, like, tomorrow I'm going to be a better person than I was today. If for nobody else, then for my wife and my daughter, you know, and my two sons, you know.
yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting to know, like, when you decided that you was gonna go self-employed, and obviously, I'm guessing people would have said to you, like, are you sure? Like, are you gonna be able to do it? Was there that feeling inside that, for whatever reason, which you obviously, because there is the risk, but there was that feeling inside that you just know that it's gonna work, but you can't explain why? It's like the magic, I call it. I call it like magic.
Yeah, I don't know that I felt inside that it was going to work. I just knew that I was tired from the military and corporate graphic artists. I was so tired of people telling me what to do and when to do it, what to create, when to create it, and when it was due. I fucking hate that. Like, and that's why I do t-shirt designs now for people, but before they even put the money down, I tell them there's no deadline, because I can, if I'm going to create a helmet, I can have that blank helmet sitting on a shelf for a month. And then one day I'm going to walk by it and it's going to click what I want to put on it. Like, you can't,
Wow.
I don't want anybody to tell me. Now, when someone comes in and gets a tattoo, that's a little different. They're telling me what they want and we are on a time frame, but it's on my terms, you know, it's not on anybody else's terms. So I just realized at that point that I just didn't like people telling me what to do and when to do.
And have you noticed that, like, the average person that conforms, they'll turn around and say that's the most childish thing to say? It's like, no, I just got the balls to say that I actually am openly admitting I don't like being told what to do. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Do you know what I mean?
And we have to, let's be honest. In this world, there are leaders and there are followers, and you can't be both. And some people don't want to be the other, you know?
Yeah, no, exactly. And that's kind of exactly like what I say. Like, there's nothing wrong with saying that, you know, that you don't want to be told what to do. However, you have to back that up and, like you said, become self-employed, chase your own journey, not fucking listen to what other people say. And, you know, it's that's what's so crazy with the world now. I think so many people, like I say a lot recently, I've noticed it a lot. Like, people are looking for real shit. They just don't know they're looking for it.
Yeah.
You know, the world's so saturated with negativity and
and you have to, it's so easy to go down rabbit holes with social media, but it's such a powerful tool for me that, I can post anywhere in the world. Like I'm going to be, in Italy the end of next month.
Yeah, in Geneva.
Verona.
Verona.
For the Motorbike Expo. And it's the
Yeah.
largest motorbike expo in the world. It's 3 days long. And there's 8 buildings the size of a football stadium packed chock full of every motorbike. So, just being able to go there, I can tattoo, I can create art, I can go anywhere in the world. Social media is such a great tool for good, positive things,
Yeah.
And
yeah,
it's a beautiful thing. And you gotta learn to, as if you're self-employed and you're trying to promote what you do, you've got to figure those barriers and those guidelines,
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, like I'm in the process of having a website built, which is fundamentally the backbone of what I'm hoping and what I believe is going to be my business. And really, it's kind of going to become a hub of everything that I'm trying to create. And I massively believe that now with like what social media are doing, they are starting to restrict like the freedom of speech and like, so there's kind of, I'm going to have a blog section that people are going to be able to use. And
Right.
I just want to create a hub for people of the custom culture scene that are able just to connect with the same people,
It's beautiful.
And,
beautiful.
Do you know what I mean? And that's what I feel it's missing. I feel that without, and obviously the difficultness will be is because I personally feel that we're in a day and age where men simply aren't allowed to be men. We're now frowned upon. We're now deemed that, like they're manipulating the way we kind of word things. You can say something and all of a sudden it's twisted, and that's not actually the point that's being made. And it's become a bit too chaotic,
Most of the time when somebody has an opinion about what you're doing or saying, it's because they're missing something in their life. Something's not lined up the way it's supposed to be. And again, everybody's entitled to opinion, but like, if somebody just says, what's wrong with you? Or why would you do that? You need to be like, are you okay? Like, are you okay? What can I help you with? Like, can I help you today? Otherwise, stay in your lane, like if you don't like my art, that's great. That means what I created stimulated a response out of you, Yeah.
And more than likely that they don't have the balls to attempt it themselves or don't have the money. It's easier to chat shit on your art and instead of accepting that they failed somewhere or something went wrong, that they couldn't get the money to get tattooed or buy your art,
I hope they figure it out. I hope they do, because then they can, it's going to make things better for them. And that's great. And this platform you're creating with your website and this community, that's a beautiful thing, because one of the nice things about traveling worldwide is when you're in an airport system or the train station system, you're amongst the general public. But when you get to a motorbike event or a tattoo event or a custom culture event, my people, this is amazing. Like nobody fucking, I don't care, but you see people like, that guy's face is tattooed and his head's tattooed. And then you get amongst your people. Like I've been everywhere. I spent 10 days in Moscow, Russia, tattooing.
Wow.
And the journey there was amazing, but the vibe outside of the tattoo event was just like, okay, I'm not welcome here. But once you got with the event and the people of the event, it's just like, yes, this is amazing.
Yeah.
And so having that platform on your website where people worldwide, if they can't afford to travel somewhere or get to it, just like this right here, is they can get it. They can, from their comfort of their own home, get into this little chat program, this chat room.
No, absolutely. And it's like, so for example, like I just through podcasting, I was invited to be a co-host on a new podcast, and there is my friend just bought the rights to a show called the Custom Culture Blast Off, and he's become a friend through interviewing him. And he reached out to me. He was like, Josh, I'd love you to get involved in this podcast. And and I'm sat there going, kind of, and what's fucking, this is what excites me, Darren, because it's like, I said the same to him. Like, look, I'm a nobody. Like, I don't have social media experience. I don't have a massive following, but I must have something. I must, and I say to everybody, like, the fact that
amazing.
you're willing to give me your time. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you're like, I don't like, you're not joining my platform going, oh, Josh from 666 Customs has got X amount of followers. I'm going to gain this. I'm going to gain that. Like, you don't have anything directly to gain from this, but I believe that you can kind of see that. I hope that's what you see, is that this shit really means something to me, you know? It's
the fact that he obviously saw something, and that's amazing, because that energizes you and pushes you even harder to make things greater for your bubble, your world, your family. And there's only a few people in my little circle that I can get off of the phone and be like, all I want to do is conquer the world after I get done talking to you. You know, I want to go create the greatest painting. And that's amazing, because that person saw something. There's something you can give to that. And from that it's just going to blow up. You deserve that, dude.
Thank you. And literally kind of like what, like I said, by us. So basically he wanted to do a podcast to continue to promote everyone that's involved in the show, and future people coming to the show, artists, airbrush artists, bike builders, hot rod builders. And we've now just done our 3rd episode. And like I said to the guys, like, what's really cool is, because I come from a very humble background, like, you know, I don't come from money, and there is so many shows, and like, I mean, I'd love nothing more than to come over to America and get tattooed by you, but the truth is, like, financially I can't afford that, and there's nothing wrong with admitting that. So like I said to the guys, like, just this podcast alone, there is going to be people out there that fight, like I said earlier, like financially, physically, mentally, for whatever reason in their life, that are physically, whatever, not able to get to the show. And we doing this unknowingly, some people, this is their savior. Like, and it really resonates with me. Like, it really, like, the fact that somebody is going to look forward to that one Sunday a month to connect with the podcast, and to get to hear the guys that are involved in the show, hear the artist stories, and hear what's going to be happening at next year's show. Like, it means something, because I'm that guy. Like, and this is what's so fucking exciting. Like I said last week, talking to Bobby, like, I was a 12-year-old kid living in Spain, sat watching Discovery Channel biker build off with my dad. And like 20 years later, I'm getting to talk to somebody that's taking on, it's fucking exciting. It's like, because it shaped my life.
Yeah,
you know?
It's so great. It's so great. It's so energizing. And that's a beautiful thing. I think every time someone buys art or gets tattooed, I'm like, thank you for choosing me out of everybody you could choose to buy art or to collect a tattoo from. I'm completely honored and blessed. You know, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, like you said off air, like, you know, you became approachable to people because you was inspired by certain artists who chatted shit to you when you got to meet them. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I've traveled a long way to get to a booth where I'm set up, whether it's the Indian Larry Block Party or in Verona. And if you're going to walk up to my booth, I'm going to greet you and say, hey, if there's anything I can help you with about my art, let me know. But now that being said, it always happens, but they come up and they're like, what do you have for free?
Oh,
and I'm like,
shit.
I have advice. Like, I keep going. I have nothing for free. My stickers are, €6, and people lose their mind. They're like, why so much? I go, I fucking had to fly all the way over here.
Yeah.
I have every meal I eat out. I have a hotel room every night. Do you want me to keep going? Like,
yeah.
And then they're like, it's too much. And I go, and I explain to them, and they're like, okay, I understand now. I'll take it. I'm like, nope, you can't. You'll never fucking buy this sticker,
And that's what's so incredible. Like, the fact that you are, like, able to, even though you have a reason as to why you need that, why you justify that €6, but to have the fucking self-respect that a lot of people in society are clearly lacking now. The fact that you have that, and
it hasn't
you stand
always
by it.
It hasn't always. Don't get me wrong. Like, there was a day where if somebody offered me less, I'm like, okay, I understand. But now I don't have to.
No, yeah. but through hard work and determination and discipline, like that's what I mean. Like you've earned the right to be there, you know.
Yeah, and I'm the only one that has the right to devalue my art. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
I'm the only one
you know, and that's
to be like, okay, I will give it to you for this. You know?
yeah, yeah. It's nice. Mate, it's incredible. It's just like how it's fucking. I just like the fact that I see every day you're uploading every single day, posting on story, and for me, it's like it just says a lot. The fact that you're able to take the time just to sit and listen to me kind of almost repeat the same things, probably sometimes a bit too much, but
No,
you
it's
know.
good stuff. Because if anything, I would love nothing more than after this for you to go quit your fucking job and do what you want to do full time and kill it as a tattoo artist and a podcaster, because you deserve that. You know, you deserve that.
Nah, thank you, man. I have I have actually registered my Triple Six Customs as a legit business, which is like for me, it's like massively out of my comfort zone. Like this, what like I say to people, like listen, having to be forced to listen back to myself on a podcast, whether I'm editing it or turning it into an audio format. Like you unknowingly learn shit about yourself, and some of it you don't necessarily like, and whatever, but like you're like fucking hell, like I really do think like that, and like you know, and oh shit, like you know what I mean, like none of it's ever negative. Sometimes I do think maybe I'm a bit too scatty, I move around a lot and I bounce, but my head's so fucking full of like exciting shit, you know.
Dude, 1,000%. I can literally walk into my studio knowing, okay, I want to do this, and I see something along the way, and I'm off sidetracked right away.
Oh man, that's so nice to hear, because like, I walk into my shed and I'm like, literally I'll just stand there
Yeah,
and do nothing. And that's the downside to it, is like I have so much going on and then nothing happens.
yeah,
And then I end up, and then this is like I can't be, I can't have quietness on my own, because I dive into my head, I dive into shit that's still ticking away. So I have
sure.
to keep myself out of it, you know, like, do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
you know, and like
being
I say,
inside your
it's,
head is the toughest place to be, man.
oh, mate. Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes it can be a dark place. And I think that's okay. Like, I think it's okay to like. I think for me, because I'm able to openly say, like, you know, I struggle. Like, I've had, you know, things have happened, whatever.
Sure.
And you know, but that kind of keeps me on that level playing field, I think.
Yeah,
And
and you
everything I
know,
say is just to inspire.
yeah, and if you know, I'm totally ADHD. I can be driving along knowing I have to do something and turn because I see something else to do, or like I said, coming into the studio. But like journaling, writing shit down, knowing what I have to do on a daily basis really, really helps me, because then I have a checklist of stuff that I know I need to
Okay.
get done. Writing all that down, because I can get sidetracked, you know?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I mean that makes sense. You know, it's and to be fair,
it
like the
helps me.
fact that you're saying like ADHD, that makes sense how you're able to continuously just pump out incredible
Yeah.
work, because you've like I say, you've been able to find a way to control it, to obviously to as much as you can. You know.
Yeah. I mean, and again, it wasn't always like this, you know, after my divorce, you know, I had child support and my kids were little and I had to spend time with them. You know, my kids are all grown now and I'm with the greatest woman in the world. And it's like, I can just pump out art 24/7, you know, that's all I want to do, you know?
And that's obviously like when you're moving around, like that. I mean, for me, it's mind blowing that everything that everyone sees is literally being hand created by yourself. Like every bit of art, there's no AI involved in this shit, sending shit off to get printed. You know, everything here. I mean, look at that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even know where to start, man.
My AI is all invested. I'm all invested in this.
That makes sense. That's incredible. I've never thought all invested. That's sick.
That's my AI.
That's sick. That is,
I've got new prints coming out of this one next week, and the
yeah,
surfboard I've
that's
got too. So
So obviously, so for people that do want to buy any of your art, what is the best way for them to get hold of you? I know it comes up on the DMs on Instagram anyway, but for people that don't know,
yeah. So just the best way is go to Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and there's a link to my online store, which is mckeagart.myshopify.com. But there's links on every one of those platforms to the store, So
did you have to learn all the social media stuff yourself, or would you like
yes,
guided?
I have
That
taught
on its
myself.
own is difficult.
Yeah, I did learn things in art school. I went to a 2-year art school outside of high school to learn to refine my airbrush skills, stuff like that. I can honestly say everything I do on a daily basis, I've taught myself. Now, I've taught myself software, Photoshop, Illustrator, the iPad, Procreate, Adobe Fresco. I taught myself how to tattoo. That being said, I read books. So somebody wrote the book, somebody created the VHS tapes back in the 90s. I've been tattooing where somebody's like, if you do this, it does it better. I'm like, great. I've been pinstriping or painting. If you do this or use this, it does it better. So I have been, there's been a few places along the way that I've been critiqued or better ways have been shown to me, but I've taught myself everything,
Yeah, I mean, it's, and like you said, to have the discipline to keep going at it, like, because none of this is easy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can't imagine trying to have my art at the level I have it now and still party. It probably wouldn't work,
You don't have time for it.
Yeah, there's just no time. But like, I can't. I don't know if I can honestly, truly explain it. It's just what I do. It's what I was meant to do. It's what I do until the day I die. There's no retirement for me, I will tattoo until my hands don't allow it or I'm dead. And then I'll go to painting if I'm still alive and my hands can deal with that. But I've come to many years ago, I've come to peace with the fact that this is why I was put here, was to create art in my style. And so I'm comfortable with that. I'm happy with that.
And that comes back to, like I said earlier, like there's that unexplainable magic to it. Like no matter how much you try to dig into as to why you were put here, there is this magic bit of unexplainableness to it. Like there is no key thing to as to. I mean, obviously, unless you believe in other things and that. But like the point is like there is a bit of magic of the unexplainable. Like Darren all of a sudden discovered art at a real young age and just fucking ran with it, and
I'm
just let
talking
it
like I can remember as far back as like 5 years old. I don't remember anything before that. But I've been coloring and coloring books and drawing my entire life. And so, there's when people wonder why my prices are high, I'm like, you're paying for my experience, my 50, well, I'm 57. So, 50, 55 years or 53 years of, 53 years of experience, so it's just like, I'm definitely, I'm no mathematician, but I didn't like math in school. I still don't like it. I love history, but, you either want my art or want me to tattoo you or you don't. And that's fine. I'm fine with all that, but I'm very thankful. I'm very, very thankful when you do buy my art and you do let me tattoo you. I'm honored because, we don't know what tomorrow brings. And, just being on here with you now, I just watched the orders come in and that's my daily
Congratulations.
grind. Thank you. It's just my daily grind because I'm thankful that like I can go to like when I go to Verona or any other show around the world, I'll take a sketchbook and there's people that want prints. There's people that can only afford prints, but then there's people that want original art. And that can be in the form of just one page out of my sketchbook while I'm traveling. And this is an original sketch. Like I was just in Rome in October for the Eternal City motorcycle show. And I put out, I think 9 original sketches. And like, I think 5 of them sold. And that's a chance for people to own an original sketch.
That's incredible.
Some people like that, you know?
Like the pure rawness right at the beginning. Like,
and it's original. There's no prints
Yeah.
of it. Like this is something pretty cool. So we all know who David Mann was, you know, and he was a huge influence. And this past summer, I was in a position I didn't know it until I stumbled across it, but this is an original. I'm going to bring it out on the table here. This is an original
wow.
David Mann gas tank that he painted.
Wow.
And so the cool part about it is
that is incredible.
Yeah, I fucking can't figure out this camera thing.
Yeah, it's back to front, mate. It's back to front. Yeah, that's awesome.
Anyway, the cool part about this is that there's no prints of that tank. Like his centerfold art, there were prints of it. That so tank
you
is
have
like
a one of one.
It's like a unicorn. It's one of one. It's like there's.
So did you know it was his when you got it? Like, or was it? Did you have suspicions?
It was labeled as his. It was, and
right.
I've got to find a charger for my phone. It was labeled as his, and it was even signed. I'll even show you here before my phone dies. But it's even signed by him right there.
Oh wow. Yeah, right at the bottom. Yeah. Oh man, that's
and so,
incredible.
Because of my connections in the motorbike world and Easy Rider magazines, I'm like, I need to verify this. And so I verified it and it was legitimate, you know? And so.
And obviously that's like an honor that you've obviously been able to. It's just so cool, like to say it's gone from David Main to now Mckeagart. Like you couldn't write that. You couldn't write that shit, you know?
No, he touched that tank. Like that's incredible.
I know.
And
then, you know,
the tattoo flash that I scored when I was at the Norfolk Tattoo Convention, you know, like sorry, I'm trying to plug in my
cool, man. No, you're cool, man. It's just awesome just to hear your stories.
Yeah, the fact that he you know, so he sent David Mann in 1985 sent a set of tattoo flash to JD Crow and signed it. And this past when I was in Norfolk, whenever that would have been, I don't remember when it was, October. Yeah. JD Crow knows how big of a fan I am of David Mann's. And I'm like tattooing, right? And I'm tattooing in the booth and JD Crow walks up with this box from 1985. Wow. And I just thought he was showing off. And he was just like, David Mann sent this to me. And I'm like, holy shit. And then he opened it up and there's the tattoo flash signed by David. And I'm like, holy shit. And then he wadded it all up and gave it to me.
Wow.
I fucking I peeled my gloves off. I lost my shit, dude. I'm like, I didn't know what to say. I was honored. The fact that I found this gas tank and I was given this tattoo flash to be the next caretaker of that art is an honor.
Yeah. And that's what I think is such a shame about, like, this is kind of make myself sound old. I'm like, to be honest, like, you've been tattooing longer than I've been alive, but like, I think it's such a shame that the next generation they're so self-indulged in the wrong shit that they're never going to experience this magic of that. Like, this shit's important, like, to feel that way, to have that feeling, like you said, pulling them gloves off, going, oh my fucking God. Like, and people obviously are coming to see you and to go, shit, he's actually a human and he's actually getting excited over his own shit, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's fucking magic. It's magic.
Yeah. I was on the phone the other day with a really, really popular bike person in the industry, and we're friends, and we talked about the fact that even, like, for example, at that tattoo convention, there were people that came by that the younger generation didn't even know who that was. And
I know
there's people in the bike world that don't know who certain people are, and there's people in the tattoo world, and there's people in the paint world
Yep.
And it's important to me. And that's one of the things about, if you follow the right pages on social media, you can learn that. But some
Yep.
people just don't even want to learn that. And I think like it's important to understand who paved the road before you.
Do you know what? It's fucking crazy you said that, right? Because like obviously with technology now, like I'll be honest, I use a rotary. I've been very lucky to get my hands on a really decent one, and it's enabled me to become presentable at tattooing. However, I massively respect the fact that learning how to tune a coil machine is an art form on its own. And like and I can understand, and I can understand how the older generation of tattooists don't like the newer generation, because like they obviously you've got to earn your stripes, you've got to put the work in. But like I say to people that are just starting to tattoo, and like I say, I'm only presentable. I'm saying, look, it doesn't take you 2 minutes to go. I say to people, I say, have you got Amazon Prime? Yeah. I said, look, go on Amazon Prime and go onto the search menu and look up Tattoo Nation. I said, there's a start. I said, the fact that there's that documentary out there, and like obviously like some of the guys that you're friends with, like telling the story of like of Shamrock Tattoo, and like obviously the Sunnyside Tattoo Studio. I think Sunnyside, fucking name's
Sunset
gone now,
Strip.
But Sunset Strip, like it's all like, at least if you're not gonna turn around and like nod your hat to the right people, at least sit and watch this documentary. Like these guys have put this out there for you. It doesn't take you less than 2 hours just to go, okay, I get it. Like, you know what I mean? Like you say, don't worry about what they're thinking, but give them the fucking time and respect that they deserve. Like, you haven't got to fucking kiss their ass, but like, just watch the documentary at least.
Yeah. It's interesting that you say that, because occasionally, like I use a rotary, and I have every tattoo machine I've ever owned since 1989, 1990.
Wow.
But I use a rotary because it's so much easier. I have no disrespect to the coil machine, but what's funny is occasionally you get people that call them dildos or make a comment of like, I can't believe you don't use a coil machine. And I'm like, how did you make this comment? Did you make it from a rotary phone on the wall? You made this comment from your fucking iPhone. So you as well have advanced and adapted to technology.
Yeah.
And on top of all that, don't fucking judge me. I don't give two fucks if you're using a coil machine or a rotary machine or Tabori style. Don't care. Good for you. But I'm not going to judge you for it, so don't judge me, you know?
And what's fucking crazy, Darren, is you probably find that this guy, like I said, like, you've been tattooing longer than I'm alive. Like, at the end of the day, like, the human body for fucking tattooing 30 plus years with just coil machines. Why would you? Like, you know, and let's not forget that people don't realize that you don't just tattoo. Like, you'll go from that to then needing the steadiest fucking smooth hand to lay down a pinstripe on the side of a panel or on a tank. Like, let's be realistic. Like, you're not just a tattooist. You know what I mean? Like, why wouldn't you use a fucking rotary?
If I was to take on an apprentice, I would take them through the whole program, from cleaning the toilets to making needles to building a tattoo machine, a coil machine, and learning the history of tattooing. My good friend in Virginia Beach, every week his apprentice have to write a report, whether it's on a tattoo machine, a tattoo artist from back in the day. They have to know everything about him, because I don't want that person to be in a circle of people at a tattoo convention and look like a dumbass because they don't know what anybody's talking about, you know?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you want to fucking make a single liner needle. Okay, so you got to fucking solder two together and keep them back a bit and bring the single one up a bit, you know? And I want them to know.
I wouldn't know where to do that.
Yeah, I want them to know what they're talking about. But we've all adapted to technology, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think, and that's what I mean, like, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I think just be like, first of all, be on it. Like, I have no problem at all admitting I wouldn't know where to make a needle. Like, I don't even know how to tune my coil machines. But like, I think because I'm openly admitting that, like, when you've got nothing to hide, you've got nothing to worry about. Like, and everything just becomes real.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna tell me I'm using a dildo for a tattoo machine, fucking scribe that shit in a stone tablet and fucking sail it across the ocean or wherever the fuck you're from and deliver it by hand. Don't make a comment on a
Yeah.
smartphone because
And
you've
then,
adapted to technology.
yeah, and then to be honest, like, and you can also flip that back, going, mate, how do you fucking feel knowing that I'm much more respected in this culture? Putting some ink in someone's skin with a fucking dildo, like you've just made that statement. Like, do you? This is like I listen to what people aren't saying. I'm like, well,
Yeah.
you're basically like you're ripping about my machine, but I'm more respected as an artist as you than you are.
So again, I tune into these podcasts or these live videos, and some of these tattooers are so mad, and I'm like, okay, what's really the problem here? What are you really mad about? Are you mad because you're not busy? Are you mad that people like, what are you mad about? And I'm being
Yeah,
completely respectful,
yeah,
completely
no, yeah,
respectful. What are you upset about? Because there's nothing to be upset about. You're literally doing a podcast or a live feed with a computer, with an iPhone, a smartphone, but um, you're getting mad at people for adapting to technology.
yeah, yeah,
So maybe
absolutely.
there's
And
a deeper issue. I don't know, you know?
no, no, mate, you're so right, and that's the thing is like I said earlier, like with this biker build off competition that we're going to be doing, like at the show, like I said to the owner of the show, like, look, it has to be a budget biker build off. Like, I can't be involved in something that doesn't mean something to me. Like, at the end of the day, I don't have the money to buy a Harley, and that's okay. And I believe that everyone has an opportunity to experience this platform. You know, like, I think that you build a bike or you customize a bike to express yourself. Like, you want people to see that. Anyone that turns around and says, "Oh no, I've invested all this time into building or creating this piece of art, and I'm going to hide it from the world," like, no one creates art for that. Like, you're not necessarily looking for validation from anybody, but you're looking to see what people feel from that. You know?
Yeah, the validation should come from if you're happy enough. I want to make sure a painting or a tattoo or a pinstripe job or whatever, I want to make sure I'm happy with it before I show it to the world. That's all that matters. Um, you know, that's really where the validation should come from. And then once you show it to the world, hopefully it inspires people. Hopefully it's going to generate a comment, good or bad, or an opinion, but hopefully it inspires somebody to push themselves even harder to build a motorbike out of any basis, any chassis, anything. It
Yeah,
doesn't matter. Or
yeah,
to create a painting or to create a tattoo, you know? Like
yeah.
when I do a paint
Exactly.
class or something, I just want to inspire people to go home and create art if that's truly what they want to do on a daily basis.
Yeah, no, and 100%, and that's like why I said to the guys, like, because I look at the fact that, like, everything I do, I don't know about you, but everything I do, I base it off of like the experiences and how things have made me feel, and it's like, well, like the magic of watching Discovery Channel Biker Build Off was incredible, and the idea that knowing that there are people out there that would love to have a go, but they feel for whatever reason, unfortunately, they feel that they're not good enough, or like, how can I compete against the 30,000, 50,000 pound one-off shovelhead or knucklehead build? Like, at the end of the day, like, absolutely, they're incredible and they have their place, but so do you. Like, you might only
Absolutely.
have £1,000 and you've only got a 50cc twist and go scooter, but if you've gone to the effort of customizing that and putting your expression into that, you have earned the right to have the same spotlight. Period.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And everybody involved should be compassionate towards everybody else and empathetic towards everybody else that's in it. If you don't like
Yeah.
it, that's fine. Keep it to yourself. You know,
Yeah.
it's not for everyone to
Yeah.
like.
Exactly, and that's why, like I said to the guys, like, we need to make this, like, everyone that's involved, they need to feel important, because I know it sounds a bit cheap, but like, you need to feel appreciated. Like, you've gone and built this bike. Like, so the key points to this build off is you're only allowed to spend £1,000 on the bike. but the market value is only allowed to be 2,000. Now I know that's difficult, but it is possible. And then you're only allowed to spend £500 on building it. So for example, if Darren came along and Darren's a killer artist, absolutely, Darren, I'm expecting Darren to lay down some cool as fuck artwork, but I want to see the receipts for the paint. Do you know what I mean? Like, I want everyone to work to their strong points, and I want to see a picture of you climbing out of a skip in the back of a yard, dragging out bits of rusty metal, because I'm that guy. I used a bed frame as an exhaust on my 125 build. I used my missus' old biscuit tin as my electric box, and I earned my right to express how I want to build a bike. You know, my bike matters as much as that £50,000 Harley Davidson, and that's not me chatting shit and being bitter. I love the Harleys, and I love the knuckleheads and that. But like, why don't I have the equal right to have the limelight on my build? You know?
Absolutely, 1,000%. And it's all, everything comes from the heart and soul, whether it's, you know, a bed frame or fucking a knucklehead.
Absolutely.
You know?
That's it. And you know, and I get, obviously there's gatekeeping and there's like keeping parts pure and like, but however, like, I think if we're going to be honest about the custom culture scene, like the truth is like the bikes you're building were originally built off of guys not having money back fucking 50 years ago.
That's what choppers were all about. And the term gatekeeping, and I want you to, you know, expand on that a little bit, but like when guys built choppers back in the day, all they were doing is taking off all the excess bullshit.
Yeah.
You know, and relocating the headlight, whatever, you know, but like, I don't know. It just, it can easily, you know, like the invited builder stuff and all that. It's just like, dude, come on. Like like I get that maybe you have only so many slots, so you have to invite so many people, but you know, mix it up a little bit. Let just random, you know, like
100%.
Spread the love, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And everybody that I've told about this idea of a budget bike, a build off, like I've had a couple of people go, do you really want to call it a budget build off? And I'm like, well, why not? Like, well, people are going to use Chinese parts. Like, yeah, absolutely. They're going to use Chinese parts. Like, I got a fucking 1987 ZX10 outside that people have literally walked past a £30,000 Harley and taken a picture of my bike that was built in my shed. Like, so what are you saying? It's like, I want people to feel that they have their space in this culture, you know, because like I was going to say is eventually this fucking world's going to die out anyway. Like the governments are trying to push bikes and combustion engines out. Like we can't afford to waste time chatting shit with each other. We need to keep this culture going for as long as we can. You know?
Yeah, and that's the interesting thing. There was a time where when I was wanting to get into tattooing was an era where if you walked into a tattoo shop and asked questions, you got your fucking ass kicked out to the curb, you know? And same with pinstriping and enamel art painting, where people just wanted to keep it a secret, and it eventually would die out. So it's important. I have no secrets. If you want to learn how I paint with enamels or how I paint with acrylics or how I, you know, tattoo, I have no problem sharing that, you know?
Yeah. And that's it. Like, you know, and at the end of the day, like, because you're such a busy guy, like you haven't got time to waste energy, like your energy on hiding shit. Like if you've got nothing to hide, you've got more time to dedicate to what you really care about, you know?
Right. I've got stuff to hide. I just can't talk about it.
No, but you know what I mean? Like but like, you know, like within
illegal things.
Oh yeah, well that's fucking yeah. But again, like some of this illegal things probably fucking inspired who you are today. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's for sure.
No, it's mate, but it's been a true fucking privilege, man. The
privilege is mine.
It's been incredible. Like, mate, honestly, like fucking, that's what's so cool to know that I've been able to speak to you, that like someone that fucking, I believe 90% of people in the scene that we're all a part of, 95%, like know who you are as in your artwork, you know, and it's fucking cool.
I appreciate it. The boss is here, so straighten up.
Right.
Where's she at? There she is.
So
we got to straighten up now. But like, I'm honored, and that you had me on the show, and hopefully it inspired people. If not, whatever, but you're in charge of your own destiny. And I hope every day you achieve the goals you go after when you wake up, man. And I'm truly honored that you had me on your show. I'm very thankful.
No, thank you. Thank you. And obviously for people in Europe that do want to actually get to meet you, you're going to be at the Tattoo Expo in Italy in February.
No, I'll be at the Motorbike Expo in Verona in January, the end of January.
Oh, January. End of January.
Yep, it's 3 days. It's on Instagram, Motorbike Expo.
Motorbike Expo.
Yeah,
I'm going to try and get to that.
It's the biggest motorbike show in the world. So I expect to see
you'll
you
see,
there.
You'll see this crazy looking, Darren, it's me. And I'm fucking.
Yeah.
You spoke to me last year. I speak to loads of people. What the fuck are you on about?
Dude, yeah. Probably 3 years into my sobriety, people are like, "Oh, I met you in Sturgis or at this party." I'm like, "Yeah, I don't remember, dude."
Fucking love it. Well, mate, I'm gonna let you get on, and obviously, again, people want to buy some of your artwork, they can go onto your Instagram. All the links are there, or your Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok as well.
Yep.
Yeah, and obviously to get booked by, again, there'll be all the links to book a tattoo with you. Like you said, most of your clients are traveling to you anyway, so
Yeah.
have you had people travel from this side over to get tattooed by you in America?
I've got a regular client that comes over from Germany.
Oh, that's cool. That's fucking cool.
I've tattooed a few times, but I have no, if you can't come to me, I'll figure out a way to come to you, man. I love England, the UK.
Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome. Well, no doubt that Jake would love to have you at the Custom Culture Blast Off in September anyway. So if you ever do fancy it,
for sure.
I can imagine you get invited to loads of events anyway.
I do. Yeah, I do. And it's great. I love it. And
you can't get to all of them.
But I'm honored that people want me at their event, all that shit. So
nice. Anyway, mate, I'm going to let you get on. And again, thank you very much, man.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it, dude. Best wishes to you and your family and your career.
All the best to you, mate. Have a great Christmas.
You too. I'll see you soon.
Speak to you later, man. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
So obviously, again, thanks for everyone that has actually tuned in. What a cool dude, eh? Like, what a fucking cool dude. And yeah, like this is what's so incredible is that you're able to connect with such incredible people around the world in this culture, and you just hear that you just hear the fact that they're just real people. They're just keeping it real. They're not chatting shit. And like, I think that's what there's no room for bravado, bullshit. Look at me. This is what I'm doing. And they're just staying in their lane and staying true to what they care about. But yeah, no, honestly, thank you again to everybody. Thanks again to Silverback Cuts for sponsoring the podcast, and also for Cold Skull Coffee. Check them out. Like, if you guys love fucking rocket fuel coffee like I do, Cold Skull Coffee is incredible. What his blend of cold, it's called Cold Start. It's like rocket fuel. And obviously for the waistcoats, for custom cuts, he doesn't just do cuts. He's doing bags, doing knives, he's doing knuckle dusters. It's a fucking cool. This is a cool dude. He's really, really cool. And thanks again to all of you guys that are continuously listening to me waffle on. It is an honor. And also, like I said earlier, next year at the Custom Culture Blast Off, we are going to be having a budget biker build off. So we've just got to finalize some of the minor details. But if you're up for building a bike that's costing you no more than effectively £1,500 all in, like, drop me a DM, because this is going to be fucking cool as fuck. Like, I'm really hoping to get people pushed out of their comfort zones with this, and dragging shit out of the bins, basically. Like, let's not forget where the custom culture scene, where the chopper building scene originates from, And yeah, anyway, I'm gonna leave all of you guys to it. again, thanks again for everyone. Thanks for all the comments, and I'll catch you on the next one.